Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our December Lunch and Learn. Now that we've finally made it, new Zoom, Facebook configurations had me very out of it for a minute. So with me today is Julia. I'm going to let her introduce herself and a little bit about what we're going to talk about today.
Hi, I'm Julia Almada, and I live in Northern Virginia. And I started with the VFN about 6.5 years ago. I originally knew about NAMI. I had been to a family support group just to get some perspective and get some information and be around people that also had a family member with a mental health diagnosis. And I really felt good about it. Being able to talk about some concerns I had and how I could do some care for that family member. But then later on, many years, I had children, and one of my children was having some struggles and wasn't really sure what was going on. And so I started exploring and stumbled upon VFN through NAMI. And it's been such a great sense of support. I've met so many wonderful people and got to share and learn, and I'm continuing to learn all the time. New programs, new things available that will help me and help others. So I'm so happy to be here today, and happy holidays, Nicole.
You too, Julia. So I'm going to start the PowerPoint.
Okay. And today we are talking about holiday stress. And I think the stress in general, but as we know, during the holidays, and of course this year is a little bit different because we have COVID, which adds a new layer of stress. But every year around the holidays, I admit I get very stressed. I have so many things to do. Kids' performances, traveling to my home state to visit my family, preparing for that, packing, getting gifts for my entire family out of state. It's just so much hustle and bustle. And this year, just the layer of COVID, it's been a lot. So I just thought we could talk today about resources and how we can do some great stuff for ourselves and just share some tips so that we can make the best of this time of year, because it is a special time of year and we should enjoy it, not just be stressed. So I thought what we would do is I thought that we would start, because what I have found is that humor is such a great thing. And when we're talking about the holidays and the stress, it's great to start with humor. And so I thought I'd ask you a couple jokes, a couple winter holiday jokes, and then we can go right into the PowerPoint. How does that sound?
That sounds great.
Okay, so Nicole, I got some jokes for you, and everybody else that's live watching with us and a watch later. What did the gingerbread man put on his bed?
I don't know.
A cookie sheet. Okay, I got another one for you. Why do mummies like the holidays so much?
Why?
They are all into the wrapping. Okay, I bet you're going to get this one. So, where do snowmen keep their money?
Oh, I do know. In the snowbank.
You are right. Yes, yes. I think a lot of people will get that one. What do you think?
I think so.
All right. So that's just a little bit of holiday cheer. My way to you and everybody that's watching, just remember to have some fun. You know, it is stressful, but humor lightens things up a little bit. And I enjoy laughing. I love watching movies this time of year and watching things that are silly things that'll make me laugh when I'm like stressed or whatever. So today, let's just talk about how to beat this holiday stress. We're gonna beat it, not let it get you know, not let it overtake us, right? We're going to be on top of this. So, and again, this year is different, but this stuff applies this year, next year. And, you know, I would like to say any time of the year. I mean, we're talking about holiday stress, but I'll be honest with you, when there's the summer and there's big family events, it's the same kind of thing, the preparation, the planning, family reunions, it's a lot. So really, I think all the things mentioned today can be applied to any time, not just this crazy holiday time. So, okay. So, yes, the holidays are a time filled with cheer and fun activities and family gatherings. And in most years, I love going to see like the lights at Mount Vernon, or all the light displays in my neighborhood, but all those things take time and they're overwhelming, and you want to do them, but you have lots of things to do. So it is absolutely normal to feel overwhelmed and to feel stressed and feel that you have so many things on your to-do list and so little time. So how can we prepare for this? And I thought a lot about this, and I'm not perfect, so I have to always remind myself of my own tips, right? Or my children remind me of my own tips. You're not doing that, you talk about that, but you're not doing that, right? So let's see. Let's go to the next slide and talk about some tips. Okay. So definitely set your priorities. What activities are you doing this year? Are you going to do the Christmas tree lighting? Are you going to decorate your own tree? What are you going to commit to this year? But also just remember that, just because last year you did 10 fun events with your family, you don't need to do 10 this year. It's okay to just say, I'm just going to do 5, if that's all you feel that you can manage. And if you don't want to cut anything out, like say you enjoy doing the Christmas tree, and you enjoy baking cookies, and you enjoy getting gifts for the teachers at school, just do them on a smaller scale. You don't need to make 10 dozen cookies, make 5. Your tree can have ornaments, not ribbons. You can do, one major gift per kid and a couple small things like socks and put in their stockings, or just little things. You don't have to. I think we get away from the moment, and we get so bogged down that we don't enjoy it because we're thinking about, I have to do this, I have to do that, tomorrow I got to do this, it's my kid's performance, it's this, it's that. It's you have to take the time to really, what is the priority of the holiday, the season, whatever it is, the family reunion, what are you trying to achieve there, right? Does all that other stuff have to be perfect? No. I mean, nobody's perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm sure people aren't grading you on your wrapping abilities, right? I mean, I don't know, right?
I think it's good that if you're going to do less, it might create some more time at home to just do some family things like watching fun holiday movies or making a fun holiday meal. And then you're already home, so there's no stress when it's just your family, when it's just your kids. If the house is a little messy, it's okay.
Yeah, and I think, and I'll be honest, when my kids were smaller, I think I was more of like trying to make everything perfect when they were real little. And then like it just was so much effort. It was like an extra job. I was like, So I quit having to do, I kind of changed my ways. I was like, do I have to do all of that? I can still do some fun stuff, but what's most important is spending with my family. And you're right. I enjoy watching Elf or fun movies, and the kids are laughing and we're having hot chocolate together or whatever, ordering pizza. Gotta enjoy the moments. So yeah, definitely plan ahead. This is huge because I don't know about you, but have you ever gone into a store and not had a plan? You're there like 3 times longer and you spend like 3 times as much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're like grabbing everything. You're like, well, for Aunt so-and-so, I'm just grabbing whatever. So you overbuy, you go over your budget, just plan. And planning ahead doesn't have to take a huge amount of time. Just set like 30 minutes of quiet time before you go out to the store. Okay, I'm getting a gift today for my aunt, my kid, whatever. This is my budget. This is what I'm going to get. This is what I plan to get. And you do that with everything. Plan like how many holiday events you're going to go to, and put them on your schedule, but don't overschedule yourself. Give yourself some time. You know, it may take 30 minutes to get to that holiday event. Give yourself 45 minutes so that when you get there, you don't feel stressed and you can be present in the moment.
Right.
I mean, why would you go all the way to a fun event and then like you stress yourself out on the way? It doesn't make sense, right? And I'm guilty, been there, done that. But just plan ahead and schedule breaks into your schedule. If you're writing Christmas cards and then you're going to go shopping, give yourself a 30-minute break where you can just do nothing if that's what you want to do. Have a cup of coffee, relax, maybe schedule 5-minute planning in there before you do the next event. Planning really does help. And you won't be as frazzled, you won't be as stressed. I think it's good to plan ahead, definitely. So, and planning ahead really goes into when you're going to family gatherings, because when you go visit relatives, sometimes it can be very stressful. You are seeing people you see once a year. You know, you may have topics that people may bring up that are stressful to you. I think, and I'm sure this has happened to you at some time. You know, there's certain topics you don't want to talk about around the dinner table with the extended family, and they come up. I think it's important to really plan how you're going to respond to those type of things, knowing that they may come up. Are you going to be reactive, or are you going to have like a phrase you say that, you know, says something like, thank you for sharing, or isn't that interesting, or, you know, but you don't get into the topic. I mean, you have to have like a game plan, right? I think
Right. There's just topics that are hard to talk about with family.
Yeah, and especially when you haven't seen them for a long time. You don't have big pressure cooker topics coming up over the big fancy dinner. But I don't know about you, but there's been times where I've planned how long I'm going to stay at a family event. Okay, we're gonna, like, you know, an approximate, it's not exact, but let's stay 5 hours. Because maybe we know our limitations. We know, okay, maybe after about 5-6 hours, my kids are gonna be bored. They're gonna act out or do something. So I think planning ahead reduces a lot of stress in all aspects. Also, you need to know that when you have the kids over visiting relatives, you need to set some clear parameters. Are you going to allow them to have their electronics? When are they going to be allowed? I know my family, with my mom and my extended family, there are no electronics at the table. Whether it's Christmas or a normal night, they are put away. And, you know, you have to be polite, you have to have, you know, seated nicely, you have to be engaged. And then after dinner, you can have, you know, your electronics. So maybe I think talking about those things beforehand will really reduce stress, because they will know what's expected of them. Okay, after dinner, after gifts, you know, exchanging gifts, we can then go play our electronics. Also, I don't know if you've ever done this, Nicole, but I know not just for the holidays, but there's been, I developed a code phrase with my older son when he was out with friends. If there was anything ever unsafe, or if he was feeling uncomfortable, or if kids were doing things that he didn't really want to be involved in, especially as a teenager, he would give me this phrase, and this phrase was so normal, nobody would know that it was a signal from him to me. And I would know that when he said that phrase, because he never said it, only those times, I would immediately get in the car and go pick him up. So, and it was something so simple, like, okay, we're ordering Subway tonight. Sounds pretty basic, right? That's not my phrase, by the way. It's example. But that way, if you develop a code phrase, that way it's like your kids aren't seeming rude by complaining in front of their relatives or whatever, but you kind of know that they're feeling anxious, they're feeling, that they're needing some support somewhere. Um,
My family doesn't have a code phrase, but we do. Like, my kids are really good at giving me the look.
oh, okay.
So I'm really good at reading them, especially my girls. So, they're over there and all of a sudden it's quiet and they're just sitting there and then I get the look. We know it's about time to get ready to go because something's going on that's making them uncomfortable.
Yeah, the look. Also, have you ever thought about like creating a safe space at your relative's house? Like letting them know that, after dinner, after gifts, after whatever, they have this space where they can go and work on their electronics, do whatever they want to do, but it's like quiet. Because I know sometimes for a lot of kids, the gatherings can be loud. A lot of people, it can be very overwhelming for my youngest child. A lot of people, a lot of noise, music, a lot of things going on. It's just too much. So I have to create a space where I let him know it's okay to go there. And, so we work that out beforehand. I think that really helps.
My niece's house has a upstairs loft and it's kind of where all the teenagers, kids go, and it has Xbox up there stuff. So they already know that once it's the okay is given, they can go up there and kind of be by themselves, do their own thing, and not have to worry about the adults as much, which is really nice. Especially as an adult, it gives us more time to enjoy the company and be around our relatives and not have to worry about the kids not being comfortable or happy.
Yeah, and you don't feel rushed at the family event.
Right.
That's great that she has a loft and a space um where they can go. That's great. They can do their thing while you're having your own time with the family.
Makes it very nice.
So Nicole, I mean, for years we've been talking about taking care of our children, taking care of others, whether that's parents or family members that are ill. During the holidays, we really focus a lot on others. Like we're shopping for our kids, we're traveling out of state to our family. But we need to not forget about ourselves. Self-care all through the year is important, but I think especially in the holidays. And I'm big on self-care. That's been a thing I've been on for years. It's so important. I try to do something every day, whether it's 5 minutes. It's what?
The VFN is also really big at self-care.
Yes. So, I started doing some research on self-care. I knew what it was, and but I didn't know how many different types of self-care there are. I mean, of course, the obvious categories: physical self-care, getting enough sleep, making sure you're eating right, exercising. These things will help you through the holidays. And I know people are probably saying, yeah, get enough sleep during the holidays, but if you really just try, I feel so much better when I've gotten a decent amount of sleep. I'm able to, my threshold of managing, of the amount of stress I can handle is higher. Like I'm able to deal better. I'm not as snappy with my kids. I feel better, just physically I feel better. So trying to get as much sleep as you can, eating right and exercising. Even if it's just a walk, even if you don't go to the gym because you're so busy, just take a walk outside for 10 minutes. It helps, really, really helps. Have you tried some of those before during the holidays?
We have. Going out and walking is a really good one. You just ate a big meal. Sometimes that dinner table conversation is getting to you. So, it's really good to take cousin that you're close to, niece, whatever, and she's like, let's just go for a walk in. And it's a really good time to vent. And I just kind of get it all like, why are they bringing this stuff up? They know I don't like talking about it. And then to go back in and I'm happy again and everything's good.
That's a good coping strategy. I never thought about that. Yeah, I've never done that. That's a good idea. So, I'm kind of big on social self-care. Like I like to be around people who are making me feel better, who are lifting me up. Like if I'm around somebody who's kind of dragging me down or the conversation turns negative, I kind of pull back and remove myself. And I think, during the holidays, you're already a little stressed. Even if you can't physically see the people that make you feel better, perhaps texting them or sending them a quick email, just some way that you can, vent if you need to, or you can connect, or even if you have time, meet them up for coffee, Starbucks or whatever. But I try to always connect with people daily. In my daily life, it's challenging. But even if it's just a quick text, hey, I'm thinking about you, haven't talked to you in a month or whatever, just to keep myself lifted is so important. So mental self-care is important too. Do you find yourself during the holidays doing those word searches or Christmas crosswords or fun things? I love doing those.
I'm not big on like word searches, nothing that has to do with spelling, that kind of thing. I'm not a speller. I've mentioned it many, many times. I do like the games on the phone where it's like Candy Crush type, just switching
Yeah.
stuff, puzzles, that kind of thing, to give me just something to think of something else for a little bit.
Yeah. It's like kind of like mindless guilty pleasure kind of thing. Just like
Right.
it's like they're so brainless just doing a word search with Christmas words in it, elf and Santa and whatever. But definitely doing things that keep your mind sharp. Even just watching Jeopardy or something and trying to guess the question, I think there's so many things that we can do for ourselves, on a daily basis, and especially during the holidays, just to take care of ourselves. And that's where the planning goes. I actually plan time to do self-care because if I don't put in my calendar, guess what? Doesn't happen.
Right.
Next thing, oh, I have to go do this for my kid, or I have this going on, right? So I schedule those kind of things. But yeah, mental self-care is fun. Spiritual, definitely. I mean, I think a lot of people are doing this around the holidays anyway. They're engaging in spiritual practices and maybe attending a religious or holiday type service, a meaningful thing that they do with their family. But also I didn't know if you had ever thought that maybe doing some meditation or something like that can be like a spiritual self-care.
Yeah.
If you can get to a really quiet place for like 5-10 minutes, you feel better. Just sit in the silence. Isn't that a phrase? Just sit in the silence.
Yeah.
So that's what I do sometimes. I try to meditate every morning, even 5-10 minutes, real quick. So before I start my day, it kind of centers me, and I'm able to focus on my agenda for the day. So again, meditate can also be under emotional self-care. And this is definitely something that I think I do the most, probably emotional self-care. I don't know which category. Do you know which category you do the most?
I'm not sure. I mean, I feel like it's more emotional or social.
Yeah. Yeah. but definitely things that leave you feeling better, recharged. And that can be just, I know bubble baths aren't for everybody, but it could be a bubble bath. It could be a walk like we talked about. It could be maybe just sitting in your pajamas and watching a great movie on TV, a Christmas movie, or driving around your neighborhood and looking at all the Christmas lights and houses, you know, decorated. Do things that make you feel uplifted and recharged. You have to recharge your batteries. You can't just let them go all the way to, you know, negative. You have to keep continually adding. And something I've learned in the last year is I thought that I was, you know, I'd heard people for years say, just take a deep breath, just take a deep breath if I was stressed about something or frustrated. But I really wasn't taking a deep breath. I was just breathing in and out and thinking that was okay. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I have learned how to deep breathe this year, and it is really powerful in the sense that it calms you down when you breathe in and out deeply. So I've tried that this year, and I think that's very, very helpful. And you can do that like if you're running in between stores, shopping, or you're waiting in a line that's like an hour long to pay. Just breathe silently to yourself. Nobody's going to really notice, and you'll feel better while you're standing in that line. You will feel so much better. So that's something.
One of those good, like immediately you feel better.
Yeah, I mean, there have been times where, you know, I mean, obviously, if you're getting frustrated with a kid or, you know, you're whatever, I've done it and I will feel better instantly. And so that's like kind of like a quick go-to for me. Just stop what I'm doing, stop being frustrated for a minute, and just breathe. Yeah, I'm glad I learned how to do it the right way, because before I was just like breathing really quick and whatever, but deep breathing means deep breathing. So that's so good. It's such a good practice. But I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, and not all these things are going to be your go-to. You may not like some of these ideas. You may love some of these ideas, but what's most important is be kind to yourself and have fun. Just be kind to yourself. I think we can at times be our own worst critic, and we need to give ourselves some grace. We need to allow ourselves to have some fun and be in the moment and practice mindfulness and enjoy the season, not just get through the season, you know, enjoy it, like whatever it is, be present. If you're looking at houses in the neighborhood with lights and decorations, be there. Don't be thinking about, oh, after this, I'm going to do shopping and I'm going here and I'm going there. Just allow yourself to be present. I think that is so important. And have fun, enjoy your family. Even the, you know, crazy moments that come up, just enjoy them, you know? So I think, you know, it's always good to have some resources. And I was going to let you share about the resources, Nicole.
Yeah. So Virginia Family Network uses a self-care assessment. We use it in a couple different of our trainings and programming that we have. And it's a quick assessment that you go through, kind of looking at each one of those self-care buckets. Like, how are you practicing this way? Have you thought about this? So then you get a general idea of where do you feel most connected to when it comes to self-care. The second part of that is the My Maintenance self-care worksheet. So for the things that you're maybe not doing as much, or maybe just self-care, you're not doing it as much as you really thought you were. There's a worksheet kind of, you know, how are you going to start putting these into practice in your life, and where can you start working them in? So we have this. I can email it to anyone that wants it. I'm going to put my email in the comments of this video. So if you would like to take this assessment and kind of see what your self-care is looking like right now, let me know and I can send it to you.
That's a great idea. I did that last week. I did that worksheet with you last week in the advanced parent leadership training. And I was surprised at I was honest and I'm surprised at when I looked at my results. You think you're doing certain things and then you're like, wow, maybe not, right?
Right. And it changes.
Yeah.
I've taken it before and I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what self-care is. And then I'll take it and be like, look, my self-care is good now. And then a few months later, I'm like, what happened? And then the
Yeah.
maintenance part of it kind of helps you figure out, so how am I going to get back to good?
Yeah, that's great. And also, I included a book that I read years ago, which I think was really good. It's called Fill Your Bucket by Tom Rath and Donald Clifton. And it talks about, if we keep, kind of expending our energy and giving out to our kids and this and taking care of that and the other, we need to fill our bucket as well. We need to do things that make us feel renewed and recharged, fill our bucket. So that we still have resources and that we can still function. And that's just self-care. So I like to always try to figure out things that are going to fill my bucket. So I hope you guys enjoy the book. And I definitely recommend doing the assessment and the maintenance self-care worksheet. They're just fun and informational. You'll learn things about yourself. But anyway, I also want to thank everybody for attending today. And it was so good to see you, Nicole, and
Too.
wish we lived closer. But
Me
I
too.
want to wish you and everyone a happy holidays, whatever you're doing. Stay safe and have fun. And enjoy the season.
Thank you for joining me on our Lunch and Learn this month. Thank you for all the great tips and the resources of how to enjoy holidays or family gatherings whenever you need to use this information. As you'd said before, it's not just a this time of year tips, but it really can go through any time that you're planning a function with family and trying to get through things. The other resources that I think would be good to let everyone know about is that Virginia Family Network has a lot of kind of online programming right now that's almost weekly. There's stuff that you can be doing. So this Friday, the 18th, is a parent meetup. It is really just a place for parents to connect with other parents kind of going through similar stuff, being able to share more tips, more resources. The plan for this Friday is to kind of talk about holiday stuff again. So if you've seen this and you have more questions or you have tips that we didn't talk about and you want to be able to share them, come join us on Friday and we can share more tips about how you get through the holidays or how do you get through family events.
Yeah, I mean, these resources in this PowerPoint is ever evolving. We would love to add more stuff to it. Well, thank you. And I want to just thank you guys for all the great work you do over at VFN. And
Thank you for all the help you give us.
Yeah, and I enjoyed spending time with you today, Nicole, and I wish you and your family a happy holiday.
Thank you so much. You too.
Thank you.